Hello, I'm Kothorix, and today I'm going to talk to you about a game I've been playing, Dirty Bomb. Despite a title that's likely to get you flagged by Homeland Security for talking about it, Dirty Bomb is a game I recommend you try out. The game is a relatively new, free-to-play first-person shooter developed by Splash Damage, the same people who brought you Brink. And while Brink wasn't a great game, Dirty Bomb already has me hooked after only playing it a few times. Dirty Bomb is an objective-based shooter and has much the same feel as Team Fortress 2. You'll pick from a list of 16 character classes when you enter a game, each class with its own health amount, movement speed, special abilities, and weapon loadouts. Like Team Fortress 2, the game also has set spawn points for each side during a match, and typically has a moving or rotating objective. Also, like Team Fortress 2, characters have a lot of health on average, taking multiple headshots to take down. It ends up rewarding players more for positioning rather than who has the fastest trigger finger. Other than the graphics, the reason I actually like Dirty Bomb more than the previously mentioned games is because of the weapons. They are more realistic than anything in TF2, and it gives a familiar modern shooter feel. Before we continue, full disclosure, I'm bad at shooters. I don't really know anything about them, only having played a few and only for a brief amount of time. In fact, I shouldn't even be doing a review of shooters, seeing as how I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'll leave the professionalism to the journalists. So, what makes Dirty Bomb good? Well, first of all, it's free. I can't complain about free. As you play matches, you earn points with which to unlock extra characters and loadouts and abilities for those characters. You can spend real money on them, but you aren't forced to. The harder to get loadout cards are obviously better, so some people might cry pay to win, but if you've seen my other videos, you know my stance on this. I don't care. I've spent no money on the game, and I'm enjoying myself. If there ever comes a time where I feel completely outclassed by people who spend money and I cease to enjoy the game, then I can simply stop playing. At that point, I'll have received plenty of enjoyment from the game and still spent no money on it. And getting new cards is fun anyway. It feels like forward progression is being made. You gain levels as well, which unlocks certain game modes. You also get a bonus loadout card at times and can buy other ones fairly cheaply. Even if you don't get cards you like, you can combine them to get an upgraded version of a character card of your choice. You can also spend in-game currency to skip the RNG and just get exact cards you want for your favorite character. Another thing that the game does well are the levels. They are packed full of hiding spots, vantage points, hidden entrances, and are almost maze-like in a way. It's all very interesting and fun to navigate through. That, combined with the changing and moving objectives, keeps matches from getting stale. I especially like the EV missions because it offers a very different type of gameplay. One team will basically stay on the ground and escort a vehicle, while the other typically ends up finding higher vantage points on either side and shooting down. At the same time, the game is very clear about what players need to do. Typically, the objective will be escort or shut down a vehicle, plant a bomb, or protect the bomb site, or pick up and carry an objective to a location. Even with its assortment of objectives, I never feel confused due to the game's placement markers at places I need to be. For the most part, the controls are standard for a shooter. It's a little odd not having a grenade button, the standard spot taken up by a special ability. You can run, crouch, aim down the iron sights, everything you'd expect. There is a sort of wall jump ability, but it's difficult to use or I'm just bad at it. The game doesn't really do much different with its controls, but I'm fine with the familiar feel. The music is also fairly average, absent most of the time except during menus and at the very end of missions when the timer is about to run out. It's pretty standard stuff, not bad, but nothing to get excited over. The game isn't without its bugs. Because it's in beta, that is to be expected though. The only major issue I've experienced is the game freezing or crashing, but that's only ever happened in menus, so it didn't really affect gameplay. Other than that, there have been a few graphical errors, but nothing game-breaking. Maybe it's not expected in a shooter, but the game has no story to speak of. There is a tutorial level that basically says you were part of a mercenary group, but that's it. Each character does have a little bit of a backstory though. You can read a bio about them on their loadout card. They also always have something to say, which can get kind of grating. You can only hear the same one-liner about a dozen times before you want to turn your sound off.
I disappear. I kill people. I'm like a shark on land with a gun.
I guess my biggest complaint about the game, which isn't much of a complaint at all, is that the game isn't really recognizable. What I mean by that is if I saw someone playing it at a glance, I wouldn't be able to tell it apart from any other modern shooter. The saving grace is that even though the game looks generic, it doesn't feel generic. I'm new to the rating system thing, and I'm working on my own personal one, but overall I give the game a 7 out of 10. It's very fun and completely free, but suffers from a few bugs and feels like it's just missing a little something. Maybe it isn't fair to give a rating to a game still in beta, but if they're accepting money, then I feel I can rate it. Give it a try and tell me what you think, and if you want to keep up with my videos, remember to subscribe. Anyway, I'm Kothorix, and thanks for watching.